Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to this Yin Yoga class on your Solar Plexus Chakra. The color, you might have guessed, is yellow. Before we dive into the class, I suggest you have some props. You can always do it without any props. I have a couple blocks with me. I am sitting on one at the moment. I have a resistance band, actually, but a yoga strap works really well. A scarf can work. A tie from a bathrobe can work. And this is optional, you may not need it, but it's nice to have. A yoga blanket, any kind of blanket, a bath towel. You might want to pad your knees at some point. Optional once again. Bolster, definitely optional, but I'll tell you what, it feels really nice. Okay, so we are discussing the Solar Plexus Chakra today. And I'm going to get up off my block and get you into your first pose. So face the short end of your mat. Your legs are going to extend straight out in front of you and come up into a nice straight spine to begin with. If you do have that bolster, go ahead and put it on your lap. Bring your hands, palms up on either side of your thighs, and then just begin to let your head be really heavy. Letting all your worries pour out of your head directly into your mat, into your bolster, into the earth. Just completely letting go. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the sacral chakra as I have you hold this pose. So the solar plexus chakra, which is also known as Manipura, almost blanked out there. It deals with digestion, and not just your stomach digesting, your digestion of ideas, of thoughts, of emotions, the books you read, the films you watch. All of that goes into Manipura, your solar plexus, and the element associated with that is fire. And so fire transforms things, right? You throw something into the fire to get rid of it. You light a fire under something to cook it. So think of that's what's going on in your solar plexus chakra. It's partially about transformation. It's not the only thing that it's about. It's about feeling empowered, confident, energetic. It actually sends signals to the nerve plexus, your solar plexus, that is at that physical location, and those signals can go to your stomach. So stomach problems can actually be a signal of an imbalanced solar plexus chakra. And as you are holding your caterpillar pose and you're relaxing more and more into it, one prop I forgot to mention, and I apologize, is a journal. Because like all our chakra practices in the last few weeks, I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions. Food for thought, so to speak. And I highly suggest you journal about what came up for you during this practice after we are done. If anything is feeling tense, if anything is contracting, clenching, try and see what you can do to transform that. Maybe you need to move a little bit. Maybe you need to adjust how your feet or your hands are laying. Last few breaths here. Go ahead and take your palms back down to your mat. Slowly push into your mat and very slowly bring your head forward. And go ahead, if you're using that bolster, put it over to the side now. Bend your right knee and then bend your left knee. Take your left leg on top of your right. If this is uncomfortable, you can grab that blanket. You can put it, if your knee is like this, you can grab a blanket and you can just go like this. It gives your knee something to relax into. And go ahead and flex both feet. Start out sitting tall. And I want you to think about what are you digesting? How are you digesting it? Are the things you're consuming, and remember, that's not just food, are they sitting well in your stomach? And if you'd like, speaking of digestion, you can take your right hand to your left knee and just begin to twist over to the side, because twists really help our digestion and kind of compress our stomach a little bit. And if it feels good to you, you can actually bring yourself down a little bit more. You might want to grab that block. Maybe take your forearms onto the block. You don't have to twist. This is square pose, and that might be enough without the twist. If you are twisting, see what you can do to actually get your stomach onto your thigh. And relax. Yin Yoga is all about letting go. It's not about pushing. It's not about clenching. It's about getting strong by taking your time. It's about releasing very slowly over time, never forcing. And wherever you are, begin to walk yourself back upright. If you're using that block, you might want to put it on the other side. I'm just going to use my bolster on the other side. Take your top leg off. Take your bottom leg off. Take both feet as wide as the mat. And then just let your knees fall together a little bit. Little counter pose. That was a pretty deep hip stretch, as you may have noticed. And then go ahead and bend your left leg. And then bend your right leg. Take it on top of that left leg. Go ahead and sit up. Use any props you need, any modifications you need. If this is really uncomfortable, you can just sit in an easy pose that feels right for you. I invite you to do your own practice. You know your body. I can't look through the screen and see you. And then I invite you again to go ahead and take your left hand to your right knee and twist over towards the right side. Maybe that's enough. Give that a couple of breaths. Relax those shoulders. And then maybe you want to come down to your forearms. You know what? This bolster works great for this. I highly recommend that over a block. Really let go. Let go of any tension in your upper back. Thinking once again about how your digestion is, of your food, of your thoughts, your emotions. Let's talk a little bit about what an excess solar plexus chakra looks like. You might be very quick to anger. You may be very controlling. You may be very competitive. You may be driven. And you might feel a need to always be right. Now, some of these characteristics you'll notice are not necessarily a bad thing. Being driven, being competitive, these can be great things. Taken to excess, not so much. Just relax your hips, then slowly unfold. You are going to get a great whole body stretch today. And we are also going to open up across our side body a lot. So this is a great practice to do in the morning, for instance, to get your digestive fire going, to energize. It's a nice energizing Yin Yoga practice. I know that sounds a little strange. And go ahead, if you're twisted, bring yourself upright, slowly untwist, and let's let those hips relax again. Take your feet out, soles to the mat, as wide as the mat. Let those knees fall in. So come into a tabletop position. You might want to pad your knees for this one, so grab a blanket, a towel, whatever is available to you. You can roll up your mat as well. Take your right knee to your blanket. Step your left leg forward. If you think it's going to be hard for you to grab a foot, because we're going to do that eventually, you may want to actually, before you even get into it, take your strap and put it around your right foot to begin with. And you're going to want to have it out here so you can hold it out here, okay? And you may not need a strap, and you may not want to do this, but always best to be prepared. So, right knee is on the blanket. Step forward with your left leg, and that's where we start. And just take a couple of breaths here. You're going to bend that back foot, your right leg, reach back with your left hand, and grab a hold wherever you can grab a hold of. And if you need to, you grab that strap. You just grab back here, and even if it's not on the foot, and you don't have to do the twist at all. It's totally optional. On this side, I can reach back and just hold. The other side, I have a lot more limitation. It just needs some work. Most of us are imbalanced side to side. And you can do this without the twist. Like I said, this is a great hip flexor stretch. In that case, you just have your back foot on the mat, pointing straight to the back of your mat, and it's going to give you a really nice hip flexor stretch, which almost all of us today need that. We spend so much time sitting, our hip flexors get very, very tight. Do you feel confident? Do you feel decisive? Go ahead, and if you're holding onto your foot, let that go. And slowly bring your hip back towards your foot. Take your left foot and slide it back to meet the right. And if you think you're going to need the strap on the other side, I invite you to go ahead and get that around your foot now, because it's very awkward, as you can see, once you get into the pose. So in this case, the strap is going to go around the top of your left foot. We're going to step forward with our right, and we need the strap out towards this side because we're going to reach back with our left hand. So, left knee is on the blanket. Right foot steps forward. And you can just stay right like this. You can have the top of your foot right on your mat. And as I said, this is in and of itself a really wonderful hip flexor stretch. So let's all just stay here for a couple minutes. And you can always put your hand on a block too to make sure you're not going too deep. And go ahead and bend your left leg. If you can, reach back and take a hold of that foot. And it's an area that I can't do that, not without cramping. And that's why I'm using the strap on this side. So if you're holding your foot, you're reaching back with your right hand and holding onto that left foot. Do you feel confident? Are you confident that you can reach back, hold on to that foot, whether with a strap or without? Are you decisive? Do you know what the right thing for you to do is? Is the right thing for you to use that strap? Put your hand on a block. Wherever you are, if you're holding a strap, go on and let that go. Let that leg come down. So the top of your foot is on your mat. And I'm walking off the screen a little bit here. Take a few breaths here. And then begin to lift that left glute, bringing it back towards the foot, dragging that right leg back, and maybe just sitting your hips, your glutes, back to your heels. And go ahead and move that strap off to the side. Come on off your mat. Fold your blanket. You're not going to need that anymore. Bring the soles of your feet to your mat. Slowly come back to your elbows and very slowly come on back down. Walk your feet in a little bit. Knees are pointing towards the sky. And then bend your left knee out towards the side and bring your left ankle over the right thigh. Left foot is flexed and it's over the thigh. It's not right on your knee. So you should be getting a nice stretch across the side of your leg. And it's a warm day, so this feels really nice. I need to move my bolster out of the way. because now we're just going to let that left foot fall down to the ground. Right knee comes down to the mat, and that left arm reaches up and over your head if that's comfortable to you, trying to get a really nice stretch along the side of your body, and really good stretch along your IT band and all the way up the side of your body. You can go ahead and bend the elbow if that feels better to you. You can bring it out to goalpost arm if that feels good to you. Notice if your shoulders are tensing up. And then slowly begin to push into your right foot. Bring your left leg back up, and then roll over onto your side. Legs stretch out straight towards the end of your mat. Your left arm can either be bent like mine, or if you'd like, come all the way up, reach out a little bit. Once again, we're stretching out across our side body. The side bends are energizing moves, and it's a part of our body we just don't stretch a whole lot, and it likes being stretched. And if this is too much, you can also cross that top leg, bend that back leg, and cross it over the straight leg. Do you step into your power? Do you feel powerful? Do you empower others? Maybe close your eyes. Let's go ahead and talk about signs of a deficient solar plexus chakra. And that looks like low self-esteem, insecure, introverted, imposter syndrome, victim mentality. Let your shoulders relax. Just notice anywhere in your body you're holding tension. go ahead and rock onto your right hip just to straighten yourself out, keeping your hips all the way over to the right side of your mat. Slowly come on down. Maybe give a nice little stretch, full body stretch. And then go ahead and take your upper body over towards the left side of your mat, trying to keep both shoulders on the mat. Take your left foot to the other side of your mat. Take your right foot to meet it or cross it over top of the left foot. And this is banana asana. So we're trying to make the shape of a banana. And it is also a great side body opener from your foot all the way up to your head. And your arms can be where they feel comfortable to you. They can be up over your head like I have them, stretched all the way up over. They could be crossed over your head. They could be goalpost arms. Whatever feels right to you. Your head can look wherever feels right to you. When you get up in the morning, are you excited to start your day? What sorts of things excite you? What puts a fire in your belly, literally? If you've crossed one leg on top of the other, go ahead and uncross. Bring the soles of your feet back to your mat. Lift your hips, bring them to the center of the mat. Let's go ahead and stretch. Wiggle your hips, whatever movements you need to do. It usually feels pretty good, but it can be a fairly intense stretch at the same time. And then go ahead and bend your legs again. Lift your hips, bring them over. Side of your mat. Bring the top of your body over to the right side. Stretch your right leg over to the right side. Bring your left leg to meet it or cross it on top. You know what? Now that I've had you do all that, let's undo that. Okay, we need to do second side. So go ahead and take your right foot and cross it over your left thigh. Foot is hanging a little bit over the thigh. It's not right on the knee. Foot is flexed. Just getting a nice stretch through that right hip. And you might want to scooch over towards the right side of your mat because we're just going to stay here for a few breaths, and then we're going to bring that foot down to the earth, to the floor, to your mat. And just let that right foot fall right on over. Left knee comes down to your mat. I like to grab down, go with my hand and grab that ankle. And then if it feels right to you, take that right arm and reach it up over your head, bend it in a goalpost position, bend it over your head, whatever feels right to you. It's a great IT band stretch, and it's not going to tweak your knee. Go ahead and unwind that top leg. You can roll onto your right hip for side seal on the other side. I need to come up and switch my position so you can see what I'm doing. But you're welcome to do as well. Stretch your legs out to the short end of your mat. You can start out on your bent arm. And if you'd like to, go ahead and come up onto that arm, walk it a little bit forward. Getting a nice stretch across the side body again. We are all about stretching out the side body. Go ahead and come on down to your forearm. And if you had to get up, slowly get back on down to your back. Lift your hips over to the left side of your mat. Go ahead and stretch your body towards the right side. Hands come overhead if that's comfortable. Trying to keep both shoulders down on the mat. And take your right foot to the right side. Left foot comes to meet it or crosses over it. Banana asana on the second side. And I want you to ask yourself here, do I play big? So are you playing big or are you playing small? Are you keeping yourself small? And if you are, why are you keeping yourself small? What do you need to do in order to play big? slowly begin to unwind your hands. Bring your upper body straight. If you cross one leg in front over the other, uncross your leg. Bring your feet to the mat, soles of your feet to the mat, and then just windshield wiper. Letting your knees fall from one side to the other, just releasing that stretch, releasing any tension you might be feeling on that side. And go ahead and roll onto your side and pause a minute and gently press yourself up. Grab your bolster. Bring it so that it is facing the short end of your mat. Swing your legs out to the side and lay down on your bolster. This is one option. I think all these things are probably in the way. We're going to bend the left foot and bring it up just like this. So you can just lay on the bolster if you wish. Another option to get a little bit deeper into Manipura Plexus Chakra is to take the bolster crosswise across your mat and go ahead and lay over it so it's right about at your stomach. And then bend that left leg up towards the bolster, if you have it. If you don't have a bolster and you did bring a blanket or a towel, you can roll that up and you can put it on your stomach and lay under it there. You need to adjust where you're laying to begin with. You really want to get the bolster into the stomach if you have it across the mat. If it's perpendicular to the long end of the mat, then you're just draping yourself over your bolster. And I'll let you know when it's time to change legs. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere in your body. For me, it was in my glutes, so consciously let that go. Think about all the things that we use to talk about our gut feelings. Go with your gut. Listen to your gut. Fire in your belly. These are all referring to Manipura Chakra. Last few breaths. Last one. Slowly push into your hands and lift your head. Go ahead and stretch that left leg out behind you. Bend the right knee out towards the side. Comes up right to the bolster. If you're laying with your head on the bolster, you can lay back down and just turn your head the other way. And if you're laying with your stomach on your bolster, just relax your head down. Maybe cross your hands. Maybe let it come all the way down to the mat. See what feels right to you. Do I feel worthy? And slowly take your hands, palms down on the mat, near your neck, near your chin. And slowly push your head up off of that bolster. Stretch both legs out behind you. Maybe quickly come through a child's pose to release your back. A couple of breaths here. Press your hands into your mat as you walk your hands back to your knees. Bring your feet, soles of the feet, back to your mat. Scoot yourself forward. Slowly come down to your elbows and then all the way down on your back. Stretch your legs down towards the short end of the mat. Go ahead and bend your left knee into your chest. Take your hand onto that knee and then bring it across your body. And yes, I need to move my bolster out of the way again. And this is a place where a rolled up blanket or a block under your knee could feel really good. Head can look straight up. It can look towards the left hand, whatever feels most comfortable to you. And I want you to think about What do I need to feel strong today? And that can look different day to day. Once again, notice anywhere in your body that you're holding tension, that you're clenching, contracting, and just let it go. Relax. Give yourself permission to relax. Most of us spend a great deal of our time in very young, very active, very heating, very energizing, very masculine activity. And we need to balance that out with the yin, the more passive, the feminine, the cooling, the relaxing. Relax is not a dirty word. Very slowly begin to bring that knee back into your chest, that top knee. Stretch that leg straight out towards the short end of your mat. And go ahead and gently bring your right knee into your chest and then across your body. Foot maybe comes to your thigh. Maybe it gets all the way over to the floor, and maybe like me, it doesn't. And that's why we hold this. We never get into the deepest expression of a pose in the first few breaths. In Yin Yoga, we hold poses for a longer amount of time, and that allows us to let gravity do its work, to slowly relax into the pose. And the longer we stay in that pose, the deeper we go, the deeper we heal. And it's okay to feel sensation. It's not okay to feel pain. If you ever feel pain, you've gone too far and you need to back off. Notice how you've been here a little while. Notice if you've relaxed a little deeper into the pose. Don't pull yourself deeper in. Just let it happen. Let go. Relax your shoulders, relax your upper arms, relax your face. What do I need today to feel strong? Maybe that's a certain type of food. Maybe it's a certain type of exercise. Maybe it's support from a friend or a loved one. Maybe you need to relax so that you can recover and come back stronger. What do you need today to feel stronger? Go ahead and slowly rock over onto that right hip. Straighten yourself out. Maybe bend your knees, take the soles of your feet to your mat, making sure that that spine is nice and long. And then stretch one leg out straight on your mat and let the foot fall open, and then the other. And I want you to take your hands to your belly. Your Manipura chakra goes from right about the end of your ribs down to about your hips. It's where your diaphragm is. So I want you to just take your hands to your stomach. And I want you to imagine inside of you a swirling circle of yellow light. Every time you inhale, you are pushing that circle to move around a little quicker. And as you exhale, you're also pushing it to continue to move around a little quicker. So you're making this circle rotate faster and faster just by simply breathing in and out. And while that yellow circle is still rotating around deep within your gut, keeping your hands on that space, I invite you to bring your attention to your feet. Let your feet relax. Let your toes relax. Let your ankles relax. Let your lower legs relax. Let your knees relax. Let your upper legs relax. Let your glutes relax. And let your hips relax. Let your stomach relax. Let your chest relax. Let your lower back relax. Let your upper back relax. Let your hands relax. Let your wrists relax. Let your lower arms relax. Let your elbows relax. Let your upper arms relax. Let your shoulders relax. Let your throat relax. Let your jaw relax. Let your ears relax. Let your mouth relax. Let your eyes relax. Let your eyebrows relax. Let your forehead relax. Go ahead, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, maybe rotating your elbows, your wrists and your ankles, one direction, the other. Take a big, long stretch from the toes all the way up to the finger. Bring your arms overhead. Reach down and bring one knee into the chest and then the other. Let those knees fall over to your mat. Cradle your head on your outstretched arm, keeping your eyes closed, and slowly begin to press yourself up into an upright position, to an easy seated pose. Go ahead, bring the palms of the hands together, really press them into each other, elbows flare out wide. Begin to rub the hands back and forth together, bringing some heat, some fire back into your day. Bring your hands to stillness at your heart center. Go ahead and bow your head over your hands and slowly blink your eyes open. Let your hands come down to your knees or your lap and your head slowly raise. Thank you so much for joining me for this Manipura Chakra practice. I hope that you feel empowered, confident, and ready to take on your day. And if you want to journal after this practice, I'm going to run through the questions that I asked you during the practice one more time. And you can write them down and then journal after you've finished. Do you believe you can do anything? How is your digestion of food, of thoughts, ideas, books, movies? Do you feel confident in your abilities? Are you decisive? Do you step into your power? Do you empower others? Do you play big? Do you feel worthy? And most of all, What will make you feel strong today? Thank you so much. If you like this video, please click like. If you want to know when new videos are added to this channel, please click the subscribe button. Namaste.